Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Food Network. We're glad you could join us tonight as we take a tour to Italy. And we have amazing dishes for you guys tonight. Zen is having some difficulties getting on, but she will be on. You guys, a couple things that I want to mention before we get started with tonight, because I think that it's important. I want people to keep Tina, Furry Princess 1, in your thoughts and prayers. Her father passed away this past Friday, and it's very emotional for her. And she's just an amazing person, but I know there's people on here who will probably lose loved ones and parents every day. You know, and of course we would say something if we knew about that, but we just happen to know that this happened with Tina. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Tina and her family as they deal with the loss of her father. Also, this past week, you guys, just a real tragedy with the German airliner that went down in the loss of 150 lives, 149 innocent lives, and 150 lives lost total. Just very disturbing and upsetting situation there, and we just never know. So we need to be very thankful and grateful for every day. So I wanted to say those two things. Anyone else who's struggling with the loss of a loved one or depression or anything like that, our thoughts and prayers are going out to you guys as well. And so tonight, you guys, our theme is Italian.
Rob, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I also want to mention that Lindsay is not here tonight either because she had a family emergency and with her nephew, and so please just keep her in your thoughts and prayers that everything goes well.
Right, and I did know you guys about Lindsay, and I'm glad you said something, Alicia. I know you're really good friends with her. I didn't know the situation, so I didn't want to bring her personal stuff out, but I know obviously you've been in contact with her, so thoughts and prayer out to our co-host and chef, Lindsay, as she's dealing with a family emergency also. So that being said, you guys, tonight our theme is Italian dishes, inspired dishes, Italian themed things. So we've made amazing dishes for you guys tonight. Well, I don't know what anyone's made. We don't know what each other's made, but we would assume they're all amazing. So you guys, tonight's order is going to be Zen, and then Michael, who's filling in for Lindsay. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael. We greatly appreciate it. Alicia, and then myself. So I also, you guys, found some amazing facts today and just helpful hints on different kind of cooking tips and things you can do that I think is absolutely amazing. And these come from people from food magazines, actual chefs, and also just people that live around the United States. So I'm going to share some of those facts as the show's going on. Without further ado, I think we should get started. Zen is our first chef presenting tonight. Zen, what did you bring for all of us to drool over tonight?
Hi there, everyone. I brought, sorry I had trouble getting on. I had to change computers. I brought egg pat parmigiana, and I made it in baked style. So I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to figure out where the camera is. I got so many screens here. Can you see it? There it is.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, so there you have 3 layers of the eggplant, and it is baked, coated with breadcrumbs, and then it is actually assembled with the mozzarella and the homemade marinara sauce. So this took a while to prepare, but it is actually really delicious, and it is much lower calorie than the traditional where the fried eggplant, you know, parmigiana, where it's actually assembled that way. So it's the sauce is really delicious. It does have fresh basil on it. Here, let me grab one there. I didn't want to microwave it. I didn't want to microwave it with the basil on because that would make the basil all gross. But
Ben,
anyway,
can you hold it up just a little bit more? Can you hold it? There you go. Perfect. Look at that, you guys. How amazing is that?
So
that looks good.
That is 318 calories for one serving versus the old method was 1,053 calories. So this is extremely filling. Even 2 layers of this is going to like make it so you wouldn't believe it that it's that filling, but it actually is. And I made probably about enough for 15, 20 people. I made 3 eggplants, and it filled 2 9 by, what are those, 9 by 13 pans.
Mm-hmm.
One pan that was 8 by 8, and then another smaller pan. I showed Rob all the cookie sheets. All the eggplant are prepared where you take the eggplant and you put them in an egg mixture after you sweat them. So there's no bitter taste in the eggplant. The eggplant is sweated at first where it's sitting in a colander and it has some salt put on it. Then after 45 minutes, that's rinsed off. All the salt, all that's rinsed off. I didn't put that much anyway, but it makes the little beads of moisture come out. And then you rinse that off and coat it in your egg mixture and then into the breadcrumbs and then onto the cookie sheets and 10 minutes on each side, and then bring them out and then assemble them with the homemade marinara sauce at the bottom of the pan, layering the eggplant with the rounds of the mozzarella, sliced mozzarella cheese. And then also in between the mozzarella is the Parmesan is actually layered on as well. You know, put on there. So that's what it looks like. So that's my first dish, okay? And so I thought that was it's one of my favorites, actually. And I buy it all the time, so I thought I better just try to make it. And it actually came out just as good. My side dish is, so this is a little different, guys. This is an abbreviated caprese salad without the tomato. I actually used up all of my tomatoes. Ah! Hold on. It's not good. Hold on a second. It dripped into the keyboard. That will not be good. Oh, my God. Anyway, danger, Will Robinson. Okay, so let's go back to this dish. This is an interesting dish. This is my caprese salad with some artichoke hearts here. And over here, you're probably wondering, what are those black things? Well, these actually start out a dark purple. They are kaleettes. These are from the former Fresh and Easy. That's no longer in business, almost, some of them. But they are little, tiny. They look like Brussels sprouts almost. And you saute them in a little bit of olive oil. And then, actually, no, you don't saute them. I'm sorry. I did so much sauteing yesterday as well. These were actually drizzled with a little olive oil and a little salt and seasoning, and actually baked in the oven as well. And then you toss it in there afterward. So they're quite interesting tasting. They're kind of high protein as well, which I was surprised at. And they're not like you know how people like go kale gross. They're actually pretty good. They remind you of Brussels sprouts. So. This is, again, the mozzarella cheese with a little of the olive oil on it, and the fresh basil, and, of course, the marinated artichoke hearts. And then, I hope I'm not taking too long.
Nope, you're fine.
No, you're good.
All the bases. I was really wanted to make a fun Italian dessert, and I didn't really have a lot of time, so I made an Italian dessert anyway, but it wasn't what I planned on. So this is a little bit of, oh, I'm losing my mind.
Ricotta?
Ricotta, right. This is a little ricotta, and what I put in here was stevia. I mixed stevia with it and coconut. So, you know, I'm a coconut freak, so I mixed the coconut, real fine coconut with the stevia, and then I just put some strawberries on there just to finish it off and make it, you know, the final touch on the Italian meal.
It absolutely looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
I think the eggplant parmesan looks great. It's definitely something that I would definitely want to try. I'd love to try the sauce. You know, sauces for so many people are hit or miss, so it just depends on the sauce. But I haven't found a lot of sauces on Italian dishes that I don't like. I'm part Italian, so I haven't found a sauce that I don't like. I mean, I think there's some sauces that have a very tomato pasty taste, and I don't necessarily like that because it almost tastes like it has metal in it to me. And everybody's taste buds are different, so that might not be the fact for some of you guys. But I think that looks amazing. Then I know I would definitely tear up those artichoke hearts. I'd tear up those pieces of mozzarella. on that plate, and also them little black kale things or whatever you said they were. And we know I could,
especially for you,
the only thing I might have to substitute, since I don't eat strawberries, is I may have to put blueberries in that cheese
right?
instead. But that's the only thing I think that I would substitute. But I think it looks absolutely amazing.
I've never had eggplant at all. I've never eaten eggplant, so that looks really good, and I may have to try that.
It has very little taste to it, and when it's cooked properly, and you don't want to saturate it in oil. A lot of people do fry it.
Yeah.
You have to be really careful because it's soaked up oil, and it has very little taste on its own, and it can be actually kind of spongy and gross if it's not cooked properly. But when you mix the cheese and the proper sauce, and then the fresh basil, it actually it takes on, and of course the Parmesan, it takes on a taste of its own, and you get all that wonderful blend of cheeses and the sauce on it, and yeah, awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
and
I
I
was
still
gonna
can't
ask.
hear half the things you're saying, Rob. So if I'm looking at you like da da da, I can't hear you. I'm not hearing what you're saying.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what is the texture of that of your Parmesan, your eggplant Parmesan?
And what is the texture like?
What did you say?
What is the texture like?
Oh, the question's what's the texture like?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, it's hang on a second. Let me cut a piece. It actually is kind of soft. Now you can leave the skin on or take it off, but I left it on, and here's a bite. I don't know if you can see it.
Mhm.
So it's kind of I'll take a bite and show you. It's kind of soft, but it's not chewy, and it actually tastes amazing. It's amazing.
And I think it can be prepared several different ways, because I know I've had it at a restaurant before, and I honestly did not know, this was set up buffet style, I did not know that it was not a form of meat. I seriously did not know it, because with the sauces and the cheeses and things like that, the sauces and the cheese, I don't want to say can overwhelm, but can, you know, those are going to stand out more than, say, a meat, so to say. So when I was eating it, I thought it was actually
it does simulate kind of like a meat.
It does.
Right.
I really, really think it does, you guys. And if you haven't tried it, I think it's something you should definitely try. They're usually very reasonable at a store. Don't go to Fresh and Easy. They're closing. Zen brought that up. I am absolutely pissed that the Fresh and Easy's are closing in my area, because their produce is absolutely amazing. But,
in my area, some of them are too.
So, does anyone else have a question for Zen regarding the dishes that she presented tonight? Okay.
No, everything looks really good.
Looks
Everything looks
really good.
I have some tips. This one is from a guy named Michael in New York, and I thought this would be fun to share. It says, and I'm not saying a lot of people may do this, but we do have people that watch the show that aren't necessarily on a weight loss journey or whatever. So it says, when you're deep frying something, hold each piece of the food with long tongs as you add it to the oil. Hold it just below the oil surface for 5 seconds before releasing it. This will seal the exterior and stop it from sticking to the pot or other food. So I thought that was a very, very cool, helpful hint. I don't deep fry, but I have seen people that deep fry and things get all stuck together and it turns into a big mess and you're pulling it apart. So there's a helpful hint for y'all.
Thank you.
Presenting next tonight, viewers, feel free to weigh in, like the show, hit the like button if you're liking the show this evening. Feel free to weigh in with any comments or questions that you may have. And next, we're going to go to our guest chef here tonight, Michael. Michael, what? Oh, sorry, Alicia.
Can I interrupt and say, apparently, Trisha thinks that you look amazing, Zen. She said you look really good tonight. So I just want to say that.
Oh, thank you.
Look at her. She's all over there looking hot, all dressed up. So.
Oh, yeah. I got places to go, honey.
But we do have Michelle watching, maintaining Michelle. Shadow Girl 1, Penny R, and Trisha.
And Joy
and,
Lynn.
and Joy Lynn. So,
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Michael, why don't you take us on this tour of Italy?
Okay. First thing I'm gonna start with, I have a onion and cucumber salad that is marinated in vinegar and Italian and dressing. This is about a half a cup serving, which is roughly 53 calories, 5 carbs, 1 protein, and 238 sodium. This is it's I marinate it in the vinegar just for a short period of time because I like that vinegar taste, but I don't like it to lose the crispiness of the vegetables. So that is it's just a nice little salad to get started with. And then we have our little appetizer, which which is 3 Italian chicken meatballs.
Can you hold it up a little bit more? There you perfect.
Which is a little bit of marinara sauce on top.
Oh, there it is.
These here, I make these ahead of time and I freeze them and then just heat them up in the oven. I make probably about 50 to 100 meatballs at a time when I make my chicken meatballs.
I love chicken.
And these here are very low carb. I do not add any bread fillers to them. What I do use for a binder, I do use some egg and I use cheese. And they hold together very well. I'm going to cut one open so y'all can see it. You know, it's just, you know, it's full of cheese and Italian seasoning, made with, you know, boneless, skinless chicken breast, and they're absolutely amazing, and they freeze beautifully, especially when you make 100 at a time. This is a really a go-to food, and those are for 3 meatballs is only 150 calories, 2 carbs, and 12 protein.
Awesome.
And then the star dish tonight. You know, I make just a real simple, nice spaghetti with turkey meat sauce and a garlic cheddar biscuit for the side. Oh, it is absolutely delicious. The meat sauce is cooked for, you know, about an hour, so it's had time for all the flavors to marinate in there. Fresh garlic and oregano and basil. I mean, it's just so. I mean, if I wish y'all could really smell this. This really smells good. Topped with a little bit of grated Parmesan. This here is about a quarter cup of meat sauce with about a half a cup of the noodles, which is 180 calories, 145 sodium, 23.5 carbs, and 10 protein. And then the biscuit is 110 calories, 12 carbs, and 2 protein. I make this biscuits were fresh tonight. You can look at the insides there with all the cheese and the parsley and garlic. I mean, it's absolutely amazing.
I'll take 4 biscuits.
Oh, and then once they come out of the oven, I mean, baked, I do baste the top of them with real butter. So I mean, they're buttery and flaky and just a real amazing biscuit.
I'll just take the butter and the biscuits, okay?
I think I'd cut that bitch in half and put a chicken meatball in there and go to town.
Right? Yeah. Oh, that sounds good.
Exactly.
Sounds really good.
And then I just have a real simple dessert tonight. It's fresh strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries with a little bit of a chocolate coconut drizzle on it.
Oh, that looks amazing.
It's amazing. This is what life's uncertain, so eat dessert first, guys. I mean, look at that. I mean, that chocolate sauce on that blackberry.
He just had to go run and get the chocolate sauce to,
Oh, yes, I did. And it's a coconut. I mean, it's a chocolate sauce with just a hint of coconut in it.
Yeah, coconuts.
Okay, Michael, you had me at chocolate and coconut. I'm just like.
Yep.
I mean,
and
this
is really good. So, can you tell me, like, are your chicken meatballs? They're really easy to make, then?
They're real easy to make. I mean, all I do is I use my Ninja, and I'll pulse it. I cube up my chicken, and there's also bacon in there too to add as a fat binder to add fat to it. It's a chicken and bacon, and you cube that up. You stick it in the freezer for about 30 minutes, just so it's nice and firm. I put that over in the Ninja, get it all mushed up, chopped up real good. Put that in my mixing bowl with Italian seasoning, cheese. Like I think there's sharp cheddar cheese in this one, an egg, and some onion and bell pepper, and then fresh garlic. Mix that all up real good. I take a 1-ounce melon baller scoop and just scoop them out onto a cookie sheet, stick them in the oven for about 20 minutes at 350, and they're just amazing. They're really, really good.
Yeah. It sounds good.
They sound delicious. Yeah, turkey meatballs are also, and chicken meatballs are a staple of mine, and that's an interesting recipe. That sounds good. It sounds similar to mine, but not exactly the same, but it sounds very good.
Yeah, and what I like about it is, I mean, they really do freeze great, and they last for about a month. And well, I have to make them about once a month, and I make about 100 at a time.
Yeah. Well, it looks really good, and Trisha asked if you could please make a video on them, maybe next time you make them.
Yes, most definitely, Trisha. I will do that.
That would be awesome.
I think the garlic cheddar biscuits, I mean, I think that's an amazing addition other than, say, what the normal garlic bread would be, especially on an Italian dish when people are eating it. And I think that it just adds something to it. And I know my only problem with those would be is that I'd be eating like 4 of them. I'm not even going to lie. But
I was going to say, eating them is your only problem, right, Rob?
Yeah, it would be just.
And I'll tell you, the cheddar garlic biscuits are super easy to make too. You just start out with 2 cups of flour, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of baking soda. I used about 4 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese, 4 cloves of garlic, minced up. I mashed it in my garlic press. I put some dried parsley flakes in there, and about 1/8 of a cup of canola oil and a cup of milk. Mix that all up real good to big doughy consistency, and just make drop biscuits on cookie sheet. Bake it for 20 minutes at 350.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super simple and easy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that sounds really good. That sounds really good and really easy. And I have to say this. Penny R said, I think Michael needs to post the recipe for the buns. She wants your buns.
There you go. That's funny.
I will post a bun recipe for you, Penny. Don't worry.
And Michael, how much garlic did you say you put in them?
It's about 4 to 5 cloves of garlic.
Okay. That sounds
And
good.
how many biscuits does it make total, would you say?
It made
About
about
12?
10 or 11 biscuits, almost 12 biscuits, and you can tell. I mean, this is a half a biscuit. You can see how big they are too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They are a nice size.
Me and Rob are going to fight over the biscuits.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Come on, I've got plenty of biscuits for all y'all to share. Come on.
Okay.
Maybe you should have a biscuit meet and greet. Everybody.
There you go. There you go.
Michael, no, never mind. I'm not going to say that. That didn't sound right. I was going to say a Michael Bunn meet and greet. No.
Yeah,
Biscuits.
you might have the wrong kind of people coming to that meeting.
Yeah, you can have your BYOB, right? Bring your own buns.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, goodness.
Don't get me started.
So, does anyone have any questions? Any of the chefs have any questions for Michael on his dishes?
No, everything looks really good. I'm ready to come over, Michael, and have me a meal.
I know that.
Hey, I've got you all covered. Come on.
I wanted to share this tip with you guys. This came in from this actually came in from a guy named David in Mississippi, and he shared this, and I thought this was amazing, you guys, and I had never thought of this and would have never thought of it. And I'm a master chef. Okay, this isn't something Daddy would have thought of. For an easy white weeknight meal, save and freeze leftover sauces from previous meals in ice cube trays. The cubes can be reused in a saute pan when you need a quick sauce. So if you have extra sauce and stuff, instead of pouring it out or whatever, put it into ice cube trays and freeze it. And then when you need it, you can take them out and just put them in the pan and use it as a saute, a sauce, or whatever. So I thought that was an absolutely amazing tip.
Yeah, I've heard of that. You know, I've heard of that before. To do that, there's a lot of things that you can actually put in ice cube trays and freeze them. I myself am a coffee drinker, so like I like iced coffee. So you can actually take the coffee, put it in ice cube trays, and that way when you have iced coffee, it's not like melting and watering it down.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Yeah,
I do.
Good ideas.
I do the same thing with my my fresh like chicken stock or vegetable stock.
Right.
I'll freeze that in the ice cube trays, and when I want to flavor some rice or something, I'll just plop one or two of those in there when I'm cooking the rice.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Or lemon juice. If you have a lot of lemons, like I do, have a lot of lemons, just freeze them, juice them, and then you have cubes of lemon juice if you want to put that with chicken or on vegetables or whatever.
Yeah, I guess you could pretty much do it with, anything that's a sauce or an add to or thing like that. It's just something I've never heard of doing. Usually if I have extra and it's not really enough, say, to put in a bowl or I'm not going to be making it for a long time, I usually would just toss it. And that is wasteful, really.
Yeah.
Okay, Alicia, you're up next. What did you bring on the trip to Italy tonight?
Okay. I told Rob I'm doing ghetto tonight.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
So I did not cook the meatballs. I have meatballs, but I didn't cook them. I bought them. I didn't make them from scratch. I bought them, but I threw in a bunch of extra stuff. So first, let me show you. I have it in my little bowl here. And what it is it's meatballs. They're down in there. But I added some peppers and like yellow and green and red peppers and onion to my sauce that I made, and then on top I put feta cheese because I love feta cheese with anything. I'm a big fan of feta cheese. So that was my first dish, and actually these meatballs are the mini party meatballs from Trader Joe's. They're my favorite. You get like I think 6 of them for about 200 calories, and I believe it's around 15 grams of protein. So, and I don't eat pasta. So for me, I don't do pasta. I just do like meat and the sauce and veggies all together, and of course I added my cheese on top.
Looks good.
Yeah. It's really
Are those beef meatballs or chicken?
Turkey.
Oh, they're turkey.
Yeah, they're turkey. So
okay, I buy those too.
yeah. So that is my first thing I made. The second thing I did was I have these, like, what is that? Like the bread, it's like the bruschetta? Is that what it's like? Okay, well, I thought of that, but instead I took these little, they're just little,
Dolly
uh,
toast?
kind of like that, but they're the,
Velvet toast?
yeah. And so I took those and I just put a little bit of what I had left over.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, and I just put it on there like that, and I thought that's a really good. So this is, I put a few of them, and I just add like that because that would be a great kind of side thing, because I'm loving these meatballs with the sauce and the veggies and stuff. So that was my second thing that I added to it. Then my dessert looks so good because Michael had to like copy me, but I took clap Michael. Um, no, this is blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries, and it actually is it has no extra sugar, so it's like no added sugar to it, and then I put some Splenda over the top of it. And then, of course, a couple dollops of my Cool Whip. So that's, I know it's not like Italian dessert, but hey, I figured fruit goes with anything, any
Right.
kind of meal from anywhere. Fruit is, yeah. So that is what I have for us today.
Is that fresh Cool Whip or like a tub of like already bought Cool Whip? Is that
It's
like the Cool Whip that you made?
No, it's bought. It's the in the tub, in the little tub. Yeah. Oh, I can't get that fancy. I know I'm not fancy like all of you, but but it
it's
works.
super easy.
It is, and so I'm really excited about this because, like I said, I don't really do, when I think of Italian, like I think of pastas and stuff like that, and for me, I just don't. I don't eat pasta. I haven't eaten pasta in like 2 years, and I'm a little afraid to try it just because I'm not sure what it'll do, and plus I don't really need those extra carbs. So for me, it works, it works, and that's how I eat. So
I think a good point to make too is, everybody has to modify the way they would make something differently.
Yeah.
So the recipes that we've actually made and are sharing tonight, someone could easily switch around and make them full fat, make them however they want, depending on what your style of eating is. And buying meatballs versus making them homemade, I mean, I think either way is perfectly fine in my opinion.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, if you're going to buy store-bought meatballs, in my opinion, you would want to spruce up the sauce some, or do something to add some extra pizzazz to it. Because when you're making homemade meatballs, you're able to really put the finest ingredients and the things in there that you want to really make it that taste that you want. But I think that buying stuff already made isn't necessarily a big deal. It's all in how you season it and how you fancy it up and really present it. That's just my opinion.
I think I really wanted to show too is that, we don't all like go out, every night or whatever and just always have stuff that we made from scratch,
Right.
And there's always stuff that we can buy, but put our own, like Rob said, put our own, flavors into it and stuff. Because, I mean, I think we do that a lot. We buy things and we just kind of make it our own or add it to things that, I think you don't necessarily have to have everything that you think is the norm. You can try different things, and that's one of the things that I have learned a lot from us having this show is that I've learned that you can add things and mix things together, and it might sound weird, but as long as it tastes good, then that's all that counts.
Right.
Exactly. I had never thought about putting some feta cheese on the meatballs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm such a huge. I always have feta cheese in my refrigerator, like
so
always.
do I. I mean, I normally just eat it plain. The crumbles just plain.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you know,
Yeah.
if anyone knows me knows that I love my like little sweet peppers. I love those. Like, I have them with everything. So I thought, why not just throw that stuff on and, you know, throw the feta cheese on top, and it's really, really good. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Even
And
the boys
meatballs
like them.
Meatballs are also delicious in salads. I've been eating them in salads for lunch for years. The chopped salad with superfood, and then add the meatballs, and then some kind of a spicy sauce on them, like chipotle or hot sauce. Mixing them in and put a little dressing on the actual, you know, greens or the kale, whatever you're eating. But those are good. And Michael, you know what I put in my meatballs that's a little different than yours?
What?
I add actually chopped kale or chopped spinach. Very finely chopped.
That is an. I'm going to have to try that. That really sounds good.
Pack them full of as much of the vitamin-rich greens, because when they're tasty, you know, all just melts together. And you can also add mushroom if you want to have, you know, that other type of, you know, chop the mushroom really fine.
A mushroom would make it more meatier too.
Yeah, it kind of like spreads it. You know, it kind of gives you more bang for your buck when you add a bunch of stuff in with your meat, and as long as you can get it to form in a ball. And I've actually used sometimes like almond meal in there also as a filler, you know, to bind it with the egg so that it isn't so gooey. If I'm using chicken, it's really gooey.
Right.
And the turkey is a little less gooey, which you know, it's actually easier to make the meatballs with the turkey. The chicken just constantly sticks to the glove or to your hand, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I normally use when I'm making them, I use the melon baller, and then I'll have my gloves are wet, so it's a lot easier. They don't stick as much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I do want to say that Shadow Girl 1 said everything looks good so far. Zen and Michael. It says, I think I've only tried eggplant once, and I didn't like it, but maybe I did not prepare it right. I'd love to try recipes. What you made, Zen. Those meatballs sound great, Michael, and super easy. I'm going to have to make those too. So, you know, we can share the recipes and things like that in the comment section, or you know, if people want to make a video on it specifically on their channel, they can do that too. So that comment came in, and also I did see a comment from, Trisha said that, she said, I'm so hungry I'd kill for a biscuit. And I would too.
Trisha, you're not that far from me. Come on, I got some extra biscuits.
And she wanted to know that you have some nice buns, Michael. I'm just saying.
Here we go.
Shadow Girl 1, what I would say too, when you're trying foods and you've tried them and you really didn't like it, but you think maybe you might have made it wrong, I'd say like you're planning on doing, try it again. But if you don't like it, don't force yourself to like it. There's enough other stuff out there that you can like, and everybody in the world is going to like eggplant, no matter how it's made. If it's not something for you, then that's fine. You just put a period and move on to the next thing that you absolutely find that you love to do. So everything isn't going to be for everybody, but I think if we're trying, and you know, I think eggplant honestly is one of those foods where if you don't know how to make it, it's not going to taste good. You have to know how to make eggplant, or it's just not going to be good.
Yeah, and I think with eggplant, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. There's no in between with eggplant.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it depends what you put on it so much, and how you do need to sweat it, like I explained with the salt and the colander, because that brings out all that bitter, that bitter sort of an aftertaste. It gets rid of that. So once that's out of the way, then it's kind of like Brussels sprouts. It's got the same kind of, they have sometimes a very bad aftertaste.
Yeah.
That bitter, and you can get rid of that by, you know, boiling them or steaming them in a sugar base.
Right.
And sugar.
Zen, I have a question for you. So you said that you made enough for 15 people.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you don't have 15 kids, so.
Right. Okay, so let me tell you what I did. Okay, I'm going to show you this. I gave a pan of it to my friend. Here's what she sent me, an empty pan. Can you see it? And she says, you won. They ate all of it. I took it over there just a couple hours ago. And she has all these horns and whistles, and I'm like, yeah. And I did freeze several servings of it. My daughter and her friend is here. They're on spring break. So my daughter loves eggplant parmesan. And each section that you eat is so filling. It's like pretty much a full meal if you eat the whole thing. So I've got one dish gone, and I have like 2 dishes left. My daughter and her friend and friends will probably, eat another 5 or 6 servings over the next couple days. And then the rest I'm going to freeze in individual bags. Mm-hmm. I freeze individual servings. And then I put multiple individual servings in like a bigger freezer bag.
Oh, okay.
And then if I just want one, I pull it out and I'll zap it. And if I need to freshen the sauce, I'll add some more sauce.
That's what I was going to ask you is how does, because there are some things that we make that they just don't taste good after, they taste great fresh, but then once you go to heat them back up, then they just don't taste good. So I was wondering with that, how that was, or if it's something that...
I'll tell you what, this is my first time freezing it, but I'm sure it will be good because Trader Joe or a Sprouts Market make it. And I buy it there because I'm lazy.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't like all the preservatives. And they come in like single serving, but I make that 2 servings, one for my daughter, one for me. Mm-hmm. And then we just have like a salad on the side. But we eat that pretty often. Like I said, she loves it. And it's always frozen when you buy the entrees. Mm-hmm. And theirs isn't as good as mine. And it's actually a smaller serving. And it probably has a lot more stuff in it, to preserve it and so forth. Yeah. But I mean, if you make I say I use 3 eggplants. The recipe called for 2 eggplants. Right. So I use 3 eggplant, which you really, if you have a smaller family or whatever, you would only use 2. Or if you were just yourself, you would probably use 1. Yeah. And you get approximately 12 to 15 quarter-inch slices out of a large eggplant. Okay, and then you do your steam. You're not your steaming, but you're sweating, and you do that coating, and then you're going to layer it 2 to 3 layers high, right? And then you're going to get like probably 6 to 8 servings out of 1 eggplant, I think. And then you could eat like 2 and freeze the rest if you were like Rob, a single person who didn't want to eat it every day. Yeah. Or yourself if your family wasn't going to touch it. Yeah. So it wouldn't take you as long as it took me because I made much. And I just figured if I'm going to make it, I'm going to make a lot of it, so I'm going to have to make it again for a while.
Michael, what were you going to say? Sorry.
Yeah, that's one good thing about eggplant. I mean, it does freeze beautifully, and then when you thaw it out and heat it back up, and it is just as good as when you first made it. That is one of the good things about eggplant.
I'm glad you have experience with it. I just had the Trader Joe experience.
Yeah, I have made some eggplant parmesan. I didn't bake it. I actually fried it. This was years ago. Yeah. And froze it up before, and it does freeze and reheat very well.
Michael, I've never tried that, and I believe you, but I will say, unless I buy something frozen, I'm not a fan of freezing food and reheating it and eating it. But that's because I'm somewhat of a picky eater. I would rather, if I'm going to make something like what Zen said, I'd make like 2 portions and maybe eat one that night and then have one the next day or the day after, but I wouldn't freeze it. But you're right. It may, for some people, I think it would be perfect, but I'm definitely not a freeze and thaw and reheat kind of thing.
Well, the reason why I do that, I mean, I've got 3 teenage kids. My oldest has recently moved out, and just a real, do a lot of prep cooking on the weekend, I would spend all day Saturday and Sunday in the kitchen cooking, and then freeze the stuff, and then it's easy to pull out during the week. So I'm not like spending hours in the kitchen during the week. It's just 30 minutes. We got it heated up. We're eating, and because I'm an hour to hour and a half drive home. I don't normally get home till 6:15 at night. So
I thought you worked from home. Okay.
Okay, we still got the Chef Daddy to get.
Come on, Daddy.
So Chef Daddy is gonna make. I'm gonna show you guys what I made. Anytime you usually make an Italian dish, usually you will see a salad that goes with it. So I made the salad. Ooh, we got a little piece falling off. It looks so pretty. So I just made this salad, you guys, and what it is it's a butter leaf lettuce. I absolutely love butter leaf lettuce. It has sliced yellow peppers on it with grape tomatoes, and then I put some chipotle. Italian dressing. I actually mixed Italian dressing, mixed a little bit of the chipotle ranch with the Italian dressing to keep the Italian taste, but yet give it a little bit of a zip. So, you guys, this salad I've had before. It's absolutely amazing. So that's what it looks like. It's just really, really good food. Okay. So I'm going to be eating that because what I'm presenting to you guys tonight is my dinner. And then I have, this is just water, you guys, I swear to God. But again, when you're eating Italiano, you usually have some wine with it. So I'm having water because wine gives me a headache. Daddy don't like wine.
Mama don't either.
And then I'm going to present you guys with this amazing dish. We have two different things here. We have a lasagna that's made with a Romano and a mozzarella cheese melted. It's only 2 layers thick. It does have just a plain beef sauce, or I'm sorry, just a plain beef in it. That is put between both layers, and then there is on the top. Now the sauce from the lasagna and the sauce on the spaghetti are 2 different sauces. My mom, these are my mama's recipes, and she said, "Boo-boo, you can't put the same sauce on both of those." Okay, my mom knows how to cook Italian, okay, ain't even gonna lie. So she said, "You can't put the sauce on both of those." And I said, "Okay, so what do I do?" And so she gave me the recipe for both sauces, which is a family secret, okay, but I might be able to tell you guys a little bit, but it is a family secret. And then at the deli today at work, I bought 1 piece of bread from the deli downstairs, and then I used some butter with some garlic. I just browned it in a pan on the one side. So there's another piece of this garlic that goes with it, but I didn't really have room. Oops. I really didn't have room to put it on this side. And then, you guys, my mom's world famous spaghetti and the meatballs. Okay, so this is just regular spaghetti. It's 1 cup of spaghetti with an amazing secret sauce on it. And then the meatballs, you guys, are big. This has ground beef and ground sausage in it. Now, if you buy a lot of it, you can ask the meat department to blend it for you, or you can blend it yourself. I blended it myself because I only bought enough to make 4 meatballs, and I know they would have thought I was a pain in the ass. So I wasn't even going to ask them to do it. They'd have been rolling their eyes. And the whole I wasn't about to deal with it. But also in there is fresh oregano, some Italian spices. I have garlic in there, you guys, that's in the meat base. And the meatballs have no filler in it whatsoever. It is a true, authentic Italian meatball. There is no fillers in it. There is nothing in it but meat and amazing spices, you guys. Put on top that meatball, big old meatball, put on top of that pasta. Now, what I like to do, you guys, and everybody can do it different, and this is what my mama told me. Now, for time-wise, I had to make stuff yesterday, but my mom always makes the sauce and cooks the sauce and then puts it in the fridge for a full day, okay? And then you cook the pasta and the meatballs. You also cook and refrigerate, and then as the sauce is going, you put the meatballs into the sauce. But the sauce really has to be prepared, like say on a Saturday, and left in a refrigerator after it's done. It simmers for about an hour and a half. It's left in the dish. You wait for it to cool. You put the lid on it, and you put it in a fridge. Then you take the meatballs when you put it back on, or you take, when you put the sauce back on, you put the meatballs into the sauce, and then you can go ahead and put it on top of the spaghetti that you've made. Okay, so these, you guys, are just both going to be absolutely amazing. I'm going to show you guys one more time tonight's blue ribbon dish. Here we go, you guys.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Blue ribbon dish.
Now, y'all know.
Oh,
Hold on, I'm going to cut this. Daddy's going to cut this. Hold on, Daddy's cutting. Everybody relax.
don't let that meatball roll off the plate and say we have to start singing.
And be quiet.
Big ball, Rob. You got
Everybody's mouth is watering.
On top of
but that is
spaghetti.
absolutely
Oh my
amazing.
gosh.
Sauce coming out, I ain't even going to lie. Now, hold on. I'm going to cut this meatball, you guys, so you can see how amazing it is on the inside, okay? Give me just a second, okay? There is an amazing, amazing meatball with just spices and all kinds of good meat in it. You guys, it is absolutely amazing. And the thing that is weird is you can honestly taste the sausage and the beef separately mixed together in that meatball. You can honestly taste both of them. It is absolutely amazing. So you guys, it doesn't get too much better than this if you want a true, authentic Italiano meal to eat it tonight or eat it tomorrow, and you can take some wine and drink it up. Okay.
That's a big ball. I just have to say.
It's a very big ball. And I made
Absolutely.
Okay, so that was amazing. That is the blue ribbon.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, he can't even talk. Look, he said, okay, let me just say this. Rob has been waiting the whole show to eat his dinner.
You guys, this is my dinner, and I drew last. My name came up last. But you guys, it's weird because the sauces taste so much different. So you don't feel like you're just going from one thing with pasta and meat and cheese to another thing.
Yeah.
I didn't put a lot of extra Parmesan and cheese or nothing on mine because I can be lactose intolerant a little bit, you guys, so I didn't want to go crazy with the cheeses. But it's amazing the difference, the taste in the sauce on the lasagna versus the sauce on the spaghetti. And I got to show everybody one more time because, like I said, it just doesn't get much better than this. This is my mama's recipe. So,
you know what would go with
Rob?
that?
That's all I got to say. I'm going to eat.
Rob. Robbie. Okay. Do spell out the differences between the sauces. Identify the components that are different.
Okay. What I can tell you is that the sauce on the lasagna sorry. The sauce on the lasagna does have a tomato paste in it, along with the sauce, whereas the one on the spaghetti does not. It also has some vodka in the sauce that's in the lasagna, where the sauce on the spaghetti does not have any liquor in it whatsoever. The sauce on the spaghetti is a lot more flavorful and robust because it has a lot more herbs and powders and spices in it than what it does, because you don't want to take away from the sauce on the lasagna as far as the vodka goes. And sometimes if you put, like I said before, tomato paste can have a very weird or overbearing taste that I think personally if you use too much of it. So to add in a bunch of extra stuff with it probably wouldn't be the best. But that's the main difference between the sauces.
Yeah.
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 Okay, but you
looks so
okay.
good.
I'll speak with you on a one-on-one later about that.
You know what would go good with that, Rob, would be my biscuits.
That biscuit, I'm bringing that biscuit over and I'm putting it on this plate, and that's going to give me two blue ribbons.
Right? Well, I don't know about that. No. It looks so good, Rob. I'm ready to come over and
Look good.
oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it looks good. And Shadow Girl,
Everybody, one more time.
Shadow Girl 1 wants to know when she can come over because everything looks so good, Rob. That's what
You can come over, or
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you guys, You can find this in my up-and-coming, top-of-the-line restaurant in Vegas called Robsie's. It's inside of Caesar's Palace. It's right across from the huge auditorium they have there by the underground restroom. So check it out, you guys. This is an amazing. They're not sold as a sampler like this, though. You would have to purchase separate plates at this time. The sampler is something that I may add in the future if I add a ravioli or something like that to it. But right now, they're sold individually. But I can tell you, if you order them, you would not need anything else to eat.
Well, and then Joy Lynn wants to know, or she said, only one ball, I guess.
I only have one on here because it is huge. I know it doesn't seem like it, you guys, but it is a pretty big meatball. It's pretty big. If you did just a plate of spaghetti, I would think most people would probably eat 3 meatballs, maybe 2 for the ladies. But I think a guy would probably eat 3 meatballs. But there is no meat in the sauce. The meat is just the balls. So a lot of time you'll take the ball and cut the ball. And I cut the ball into 4s and then cut it again. So each meatball really gives you 8 pieces of meat. So
you got it precisely divided.
You guys are going to be cutting the ball.
After the show, how many times did Rob say balls?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Put that in the comments.
But you know, Rob, is that a 1/4 pounder ball, pretty much? Each ball,
big,
like a 1/4 pound ball.
It's a big ball.
Yeah.
So let's just say Rob has big balls.
We knew that.
Big meaty ones.
For another show.
Big meaty balls.
That's because when I was younger, I did have to go to the doctor with an issue with that. But I'm not going to get into it on the cooking. So,
gosh.
I know it's time to go, and we had an amazing time tonight. Feel free to continue to leave your comments. And things
We
like
do
that.
have a couple more comments before we leave. I want to read.
You have to rush. Come on now, Rosie.
Yeah, well, Shadow Girl 1 said, I don't think I've ever had feta cheese. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's a must.
Oh,
You know what
gotta
else is
have
great?
it.
Between feta, gorgonzola, and also blue cheese. It's also really good with meatballs. It's great with steak. It's great with salad. It's great on a salad with walnuts and lettuce.
Another one that would absolutely take the cake, and some people don't like it, but I think if you try it, just try a little bit. It is amazing, you guys. Get Havarti or Havarti and dill. Havarti and dill is absolutely amazing. You will love it.
Yeah. Well, and then she said she does the same thing that I do. She always adds onions and peppers to her food and garlic. She said, I love garlic, and you can't go wrong with fruit. So,
And you can't be anything but healthy with garlic.
yeah, yeah. Well, and then Trisha has one more comment. Oh, Lord, here we go. She said, you know, I want to challenge you at Real Talk Food Network, Chef Daddy and crew. I want an all-around throwdown between Pretty Losers and Real Talk to the best Mexican dish. Bring it.
Awesome.
That's the second challenge that Real Talk has been
because
thrown into.
we got a standing challenge right now from Sizzle This.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
you know, all I have to say from Real Talk here is bring it. Come on now, because you know we're going to...
And the other thing, we're going to let you guys know what next week's show is going to be. But our new season starts May 4th, and boy, do we have surprises in store for you guys. So if we can't fit between our last 4 shows, if we can't fit them in, which the last show really is more of the chef's choice, so it wouldn't be that show anyway. So if we can't fit them in because we have other guests before the end of this season, next season is going to be absolutely amazing, you guys. You're not even can't even imagine what we're going to be doing next season. So
yeah, and we won't be taking any breaks in between, so we will just be going right into our next season.
Right. So next week, you guys, we have restaurant-inspired food done our way. So we're going to think of our favorite dish that we like at our restaurant or a restaurant that we go to, and then we're going to do it our way. We're going to take that dish and, excuse me, see that? I'm telling you guys, that meatball got daddy going. We're going to make that dish the way we would present it, say, at that restaurant, or just add our personal touch to it. So it's going to be an amazing show. We do have Tina scheduled as a guest, but with her losing her father, that may be pushed back to a later show or even next season. So if she's here, that'd be amazing. And if she's not, we wish her the best, obviously. And I don't have anything else to say. So with that, any final news, Alicia?
No, I think this is just, it's amazing. And if you guys, I just want to say to the viewers, if they love this season, oh my gosh, like seriously, we have come up with some, you guys can't even imagine what we're coming up with next season.
Yeah, and we can't tell you. So,
no,
but
so don't ask.
Soon enough. But, Zen or Michael, any final words?
No, I just want to thank y'all for allowing me to come on and fill in when y'all need somebody. I really enjoy it.
Love having you on.
Yeah.
Love having you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. And one last thought from me. Zen looks hot tonight. I mean,
smoking hot tonight.
Okay, and this is my word that people have been making fun of me, but hello, the boobages. Hello, Zen.
Hello. Okay, then.
Any final words, Zen?
Yeah, thank you, and thank everyone for watching and putting up with my crazy taste in food. I like to bring things that maybe you haven't had or that you don't make all the time sometimes, and just try to make some things healthier for, you know, and like with this cheese dessert, that's not necessarily that low calorie, but it does have protein. So every now and then we kind of have to step out of the box and enjoy, and we can just I live on a regime of turkey meatballs and kale salad, and Rob will attest to that, and tofu. But yeah, I like to step out of the box and have the spaghetti now and then, or the meatball. That's my spaghetti, and stuff like that. So thanks, everybody. I'm looking forward to next season, and I'm ready to challenge anyone who wants to come on the show and throw down with us and bring a great recipe and theme. Let's do it.
All righty.
Yeah.
Without further ado, we'll see you next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for joining us, everybody. From all of us at Real Talk Food Network, have an amazing, amazing week.